Hey everyone, I'm Jack Ferdman, and this is Rewatching Oscars Movie Minute. It's Music and Mayhem Monday, and today's film is the wild comedy from 1996, The Nutty Professor. One Oscar-nominated film, let's go. Now, The Nutty Professor was directed by Tom Shadyac and stars Eddie Murphy, Jada Pinkett Smith, James Coburn, Larry Miller, and Dave Chappelle. Now, I still remember watching a teenage Eddie Murphy explode onto the comedy scene on Saturday Night Live at just 19 years old. His confidence, lightning-fast delivery, impressions, and fearless energy felt like comedy being fired out of a cannon. Then came Delirious, Raw, and a string of hit films that made Murphy one of the defining comedians of my generation. I even got to attend the premiere of Raw at Grauman's Chinese Theater back in the day. So honestly, when it was announced that Murphy would take on the role Jerry Lewis made famous in The Nutty Professor, it felt completely natural. Eddie Murphy was born to play Sherman Klump. Now, this film follows Sherman Klump, a brilliant but shy and overweight university professor who invents a chemical formula that transforms him into the thin, hyper-confident, and obnoxious Buddy Love. Along the way, Sherman tries to win the affection of fellow professor Carla Purdy while struggling with his own insecurities and identity. And look, Murphy absolutely commits to this performance. No one can accuse him of holding back. The makeup effects are extraordinary. The editing that allows Murphy to play multiple members of the Klump family is seamless. And some scenes genuinely become unforgettable comedy moments. The dinner table sequence with the Klump family is still hysterically funny in places. It's loud, chaotic, vulgar, ridiculous, and relentless. My family still randomly says, "Hercules, Hercules," decades later. But here's the problem. Outside of those massive comedic set pieces, there really isn't much more underneath. Yes, there's technically a sweet story about a lonely professor trying to improve himself and find love. But that emotional core constantly gets buried beneath crude jokes, endless screaming, and unforgettable fat-shaming humor that feels far harsher today than it probably did back in 1996. Instead of embracing Sherman's kindness and humanity, the film too often turns into him being the punchline. Jada Pinkett Smith is charming as Carla, and Larry Miller is reliably entertaining as the nasty dean, but neither can rescue the weak story structure. And unlike Jerry Lewis's Buddy Love Julius Kelp dynamic, Murphy's Buddy Love feels less mischievous and more painfully sexist and obnoxious. We end up not caring about the premise of the story, and losing that is the worst possible fate a movie can have. Yes, there are absolutely a few gut-busting comedic moments here. That is undeniable. Unfortunately, the exhausting vulgarity and mean-spiritedness surrounding them become too much to overcome over the course of a film. So I'm going to give The Nutty Professor a C. Now, The Nutty Professor was nominated for only one Academy Award, and that, of course, was for Best Makeup, and yes, it won. Join me again tomorrow for another Oscar-nominated film, right here on Rewatching Oscars Movie Minute. Because if the Academy took notice, it's worth a rewatch.